Beatrice Ekweremadu returns to Nigeria as husband remains behind bars in UK. After nearly 4 years of silence, court battles, and international scrutiny, Beatrice Ekweremadu is back on Nigerian soil. On Tuesday, January 21, 2026, the wife of former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu quietly returned to Abuja following her release from a United Kingdom prison, a moment that closes one chapter of a legal saga but leaves another painfully open. Her arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport was low-key but deeply symbolic. Family members and close associates were on ground to receive her, marking her first physical return home since the case that shook Nigeria's political class broke out in 2022. In her hometown of Umpu, a near local government area of Enugu State, the mood was reportedly emotional, with subdued celebrations and prayers, a mixture of relief, gratitude, and lingering sorrow. Yet, while Beatrice is home, her husband is not. Beatrice Ekweremadu's return follows her conviction in May 2023 by the Old Bailey in London for her role in a controversial organ harvesting conspiracy. She was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison after the court found that she conspired to bring a 21-year-old Lagos street trader to the UK under false pretenses with the intention of harvesting his kidney. The organ, prosecutors said, was meant for the couple's daughter, Sonia Ekweremadu, who has been battling a chronic kidney condition for years. The case drew global attention, not just because of the Ekweremadu name, but because it was the first time the UK's Modern Slavery Act of 2015 was applied to a human organ trafficking case. British prosecutors described the plot as calculated and exploitative, while the defense maintained that the actions were driven by desperation to save a child's life. Under UK law, non-violent offenders are often eligible for release after serving half of their custodial sentence. Sources familiar with the matter say Beatrice Ekweremadu also benefited from good behavior while in custody, as well as a broader measures by the UK government to ease prison overcrowding. These factors combined to pave the way for her release and eventual return to Nigeria. While Beatrice walks free, her husband, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, remains incarcerated in the UK, and his situation is far more complex. The former Deputy Senate President was sentenced to 9 years and 8 months in prison, with the court describing him as the central figure in the conspiracy. The judge ruled that his political influence and resources made the offense even more troubling, arguing that he should have known better. Since his conviction, several efforts have been made to secure either his release or a transfer back to Nigeria. In late 2025, a high-level Nigerian delegation reportedly traveled to London to negotiate a prisoner transfer agreement that would allow Ekweremadu to serve the remainder of his sentence in Nigeria. Those efforts, however, hit a brick wall. The UK Home Office is said to have rejected the proposal in November 2025, citing concerns that the integrity of the sentence could not be guaranteed if transferred to Nigerian jurisdiction. That decision effectively shut the door, at least for now, on Ekweremadu's return home. Also still serving time is Dr. Obinna Obeta, described during the trial as the medical middleman who facilitated the illegal arrangement. He was handed a 10-year prison sentence and remains in a UK correctional facility. Meanwhile, Sonia Ekweremadu, whose medical condition was the driving force behind the case, was cleared of all criminal wrongdoing during the trial. She continues to live in the United Kingdom, where she is reportedly receiving ongoing medical care. Legal observers say Beatrice Ekweremadu's return is a major turning point, but not a victory. The family, once among the most powerful political household in Nigeria, now found itself split across borders, navigating life after conviction, disgrace, and separation. For Beatrice, freedom comes with scars. For Ike Ekweremadu, prison walls still stand firm. And for Nigerians watching from afar, the case remains a sobering reminder of how power, privilege, desperation, and the law can collide, with irreversible consequences. My people, as we continue to reflect on this case, here is a lesson the powerful cannot ignore. Beyond the headlines, court verdicts, and emotional family drama, the Ekweremadu case carries a message Nigeria's political and economic elite must not ignore. This was not just a legal battle in a foreign land. It was a brutal reminder that status, wealth, and political power do not buy immunity everywhere. For decades, many high-ranking Nigerians have operated under the assumption that influence can bend systems, silence victims, and rewrite outcomes. In Nigeria, that mindset often works, but in the United Kingdom, it failed spectacularly. This case exposed the danger of believing that money, connections, or desperation can override the law. And if anything, this case exposes the urgent need for Nigeria to fix its own justice system. When powerful citizens believe they can only be held accountable abroad, it is a national failure. A society where wealth shows wrongdoing at home, but not overseas, breeds arrogance, recklessness, and moral decay among the elites. The Ekweremadu case should therefore ignite serious conversations around equality before the law, not symbolic talk, not press statements, but real institutional reform. When justice is predictable and impartial, people think twice before crossing ethical and legal boundaries. It also challenges the dangerous culture of entitlement that has crept into public service. Holding office is not a license to suspend morality. Power is not permission to exploit vulnerability. Leadership at its core is responsibility, and when that responsibility is abused, the consequences should be severe. For the political class, this is a moment of reckoning. The world is watching. Borders no longer protect misconduct. International cooperation, digital footprints, and human rights laws have made secrecy almost impossible. One bad decision, one unlawful shortcut, can erase decades of carefully built influence. And for everyday Nigerians, this case reinforces an uncomfortable truth. Justice may be uneven, but it is not entirely absent. It may not always arrive from local courts, but when it comes with consequences that cannot be negotiated away. There is something we must understand too. Beatrice Ekweremadu's return should not be misunderstood as vindication. It is not a victory lap. It is the end of a custodian sentence. Nothing more. Her freedom exists alongside permanent legal records, public scrutiny, and a family forever altered by a global scandal. Likewise, Senator Ekweremadu's continued incarceration is not a moment for mockery or triumph. It is a sobering reminder that choices made in moments of desperation can carry lifelong cost. This is not about celebrating punishment. It is about learning restraint. This case should stand as a permanent warning etched into Nigeria's political consciousness that dignity is universal, justice is global, and no one is too powerful to face consequences. History will remember this not just as a scandal, but as a lesson. The only question now is, who is paying attention? Our celebrations flicker quietly in Enugu and prison gates remain closed in London. One thing is clear, this story is far from over.
It's just Angle.